Fucking Arian Foster, man. This is Cory, and this is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob, special guest this week, although you can't see him because we don't have any video this week. But
yeah. I blended in the couch because of my clothing, so who can actually see me?
We are coming
Colin,
to you.
by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Colin Graves.
Colin, who doesn't
say his name out
doesn't
loud.
say his name. But
if you've seen the love letter, you've seen Colin,
the star.
If you haven't seen Love Letter, then
you should see it.
Yeah, watch that shit.
Yeah, it's good.
So you can. Shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, we are coming from live from Denton this week.
Yeah.
We had some promotional stuff for the Anthem, some of the exciting new things we have coming for you later this fall.
We will say partially live, because we are all little... Well, we got one foot into the grave tonight.
We're a little Walking Dead, if you will.
It is a little... and make sure you check out the bonus episode of the Dirty Shore Underground, dirtyshoreunderground.com.
And that's dropping today as well, right?
That will be yesterday. It's
so Monday?
Yeah, it's coming out on Monday. And before I forget, thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate all of the listens, all of the views that we've been getting, whether you're listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Dogcatcher.
Dogcatcher is great.
And especially for iTunes, if you listen to us on iTunes or even if you don't, head on over to iTunes, give us a rating and a review. Let us know what you like and what you don't like so we can start making this... this is all about you anyway.
Yeah.
All about the listeners. So we want to make sure that we are reaching out to you guys.
Well, not only that, but it's... rating and reviewing on iTunes is sort of like... It helps the metrics there.
Right.
Where other people might find it.
And if you like us, don't you want other people to listen?
Yeah, if it's like The Walking Dead. Like, we had a whole review episode.
Yeah. Because
it has such a following. So, the more you put it out there, the more you get to talk about, what Rob and Cory said this Tuesday.
Right. And we were really hoping for a podcast to spring up that's the, what are Rob and Cory talking about this week?
It's like the serial offshoots.
So Adam Carolla is like, so on the Rob and Cory show on Tuesday.
On the Anthem podcast, did you hear that?
If we could get a mention on Carolla.
Natalia.
A mention. God. You're going to be the next special guest.
Oh, God, I would love it. It would be fantastic. Because he would talk about it on all 9 of his podcasts. So that's a total of 9 million listeners.
Dr. Drew, I talked to Cory and Rob this week. He won't believe the shit they said.
But yeah, so we do have a lot of exciting stuff coming for you this week, or this fall, So very excited about all of that.
Yeah.
The most exciting...
Big things popping.
The most exciting part of this fall is really, though, this Ravens team.
Oh,
it's amazing.
God. Exciting?
I am so excited.
Long exaggerated sigh directly into the microphone.
What'd you say the other week? In other depressing news, the Baltimore football team played today. Yeah, that's
the
basically.
Ravens played today.
Here's what I said. I called it at 12-4. So now we know they just got to win out. It just went out from here. Oh,
well,
God.
People are not happy about the defense.
No, and you know what? Hold on. I had this thought driving down.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a cousin or something like that who's 4 or 5 years old, and maybe they get into basketball or something like that,
right?
And you you go 10% of what you have,
right?
Just to let them act like they have some game on you, I'm getting I'm getting the layup, so it's just oh man, you're just a little bit too quick for me, that kind of thing. It's almost like the defense has been for the first 5 games has been you know what, we don't want to upset the kids, let's just taper it down a little bit.
And I was going to say,
now when these kids are turning into 16 and 17-year-olds who legitimately can beat you now that they're bigger and stronger and more athletic than you, you're just oh God, I'm being beat so often.
I was going to say, I do know about that because I had this series of basketball games I played in college. I did that basically. Anyway, so the thing I got to say about this...
I just wish... So...
Yeah.
Going back to the Open, going back to our conversation from last week.
Yeah.
The Posse has a fantasy football league.
Yes.
I have a team that's designated to me, and then another team I'm kind of helping run on the side.
Which is doing much better than your own team.
You're welcome, Rachel.
I know, God.
But I failed to beat Rob this week.
That's right.
Mostly because...
No one believes in you, Rob.
Mostly because when Sunday morning rolled around, I heard nothing but Arian Foster is back. Expect huge things from him. Mm-hmm. He is going to be ripping up shit this week.
Yes.
And then, like, as soon as the game started, there was, like, a sideline reporter. It's just like, expect Foster to get, like, I don't know, 8 snaps today. I'm just like, that's not...
No, 8 touches.
Yeah,
limited touches.
That's not letting him run wild. And then he had, like, 40 yards. And I was just like, God damn it.
And it looked like he injured
like
his
a
groin.
Fumble. And
yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he injured his groin at one point, and I'm like, good Lord. That guy, he's so big and so strong, and he's, like, laid low. And that's a horrible injury.
Yeah.
Pulling your, oh, God, just thinking about
it's
pulling
real
your
bad.
fucking sucks.
Yeah, I pulled my groin back in baseball, and I was bad.
Well, and the thing is, though, he had all winter. He had all summer to, like, get over the injury, and he's, like, still with the groin, still.
Well, that happened in training camp, I think.
Well, no, he re-injured it in training camp.
Yeah.
Because last year, he was out for a groin injury.
Right.
And apparently just, having models do blow off your dick fucking strains your
Hashtag
groin.
big dick problems.
Jesus, who knew?
I feel like if he put up an honest game, it
Yeah.
would have been a lot closer than it was. I mean, like, going into the Monday night game, I had Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think it was like... It wasn't a completely insurmountable amount of points. It was like 18.
Who were the Lions playing?
The
last week?
Seahawks.
Yeah, they played the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I had anybody. So I was done.
Yeah, you were done
yeah.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think I had somebody on Sunday night and then Monday night.
Yeah.
And I was just like waiting for these 2 games to like play out.
I was so close. I got this.
But I was like 18 points down, and I was just like, all right, Calvin just needs to have a big game. The big game breakout has to happen for Calvin Johnson. And then, of course, he fumbles into the end zone. And then something happened. I didn't really watch after that. So
I think he got a shoulder to helmet, and they had to do the concussion protocol, so he was out for a while, for a couple of series.
No, but you know what? I've maintained that my team is so good once they get healthy.
Right.
Once all the parts are moving the way they're supposed to. And I'm just going to go on the 12-game winning streak that the Ravens need.
Yeah, you need to follow the Ravens.
I'm just going to go on like a 12-game epic, everybody eat shit winning streak.
Right.
The other part that upset me, too, is like when I got the report the next day.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, res
ipsa
locator, barely squeezes by legend CB5s. And like I read all the points, and it's just like, for the 8th week in a row, Corey's players have underperformed their valuations. I'm just like... But then at the very bottom, I looked, and it said, like, if Legend CB5 had the same record as Rob, he would be 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God damn it. Like, because all I needed was, like, just another win, or, like, a win.
I was going to say
a singular win.
And I posted something earlier this week, and enjoy it because it'll be on the video now. But our league has gotten a little vicious with the renaming of the teams. So I've been res ipsa locator, which is for non-lawyers and non-Latin speakers. It's a principle in the law that says the thing stands for itself.
Right.
Which I think is like a nice, strong... Not so much this season, but it was a nice, strong name last season. And I've left it that. And Rachel has left her team as... Winning is my forte,
right?
After Matt Forte. But other than that, everyone else has changed the names of their teams.
And I wanted to stick with Legend CB5s. I was content with it.
Yeah.
But then when EP changed her name...
To what?
Not your first win.
Right.
I was like, all right then. Now I got to be not a cat lady. And then I changed it to the cat lady from The Simpsons as my logo.
Yeah. Ironically, though, it turned out that it's not your first win. So.
Well, we don't know that yet. I'm still leading. She's got 2 people on Monday night. I think they have to get 18 points.
Yes.
So
No. Less than that now. It wasn't like 7?
No, because I had a big kicking
Oh, that's
week.
right. Kicking week. Okay, so you only have to...
Brown came up for me.
Yeah.
What can Brown do for you?
But unfortunately, the 9 points is both under their projected points for the game.
Yeah.
So things are going to be close. But it's not even that. It's everybody who had a game this week changed the name of their team.
Right.
Like Maggie, the sweetest, nicest mom, fantastic mom to little Bailey, got real personal with the no shirtless selfies.
Yeah.
Name.
On Burns.
On Burns. Burns' name is still the same.
Yeah.
And actually Chelsea's is too. It just got mean because John changed his to yes, I can. Like
Obama.
From Obama. Yeah. And then was it Rob? Is it Rob and Shannon this week?
Yeah.
Death from above, shit from below, something like that. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, oh crap. It's not a cat lady versus not your first win.
Yeah.
It's death from above versus danger from below.
But
Rob
they changed those again.
Yeah. They're rolling through.
That was a picture I could find on your profile. Yeah. So if you have another one somewhere,
no, this is the one.
Okay.
And it's yes you can versus I can, which is Chelsea's. You can. And then about that action, boss from Burnett playing anti-shirtless selfie.
I do like how he says yes you can, and then in parentheses Obama.
Yeah, Rob and Shannon changed their names yet again since you posted that.
Yeah.
Rob is 0.3 point head start.
Yeah, what was that about?
Because I think Shannon played somebody who only got 0.3 points on Monday. And then Shannon changed hers to more than just Pats because Rob has
the whole
Brady and Edelman and Gronkowski on his team.
Which is why he has how many points right now?
105.2
to
40.14.
Shannon's 40.
And that one's locked.
Shannon.
That's done.
Yeah. Good grief.
Yeah, so Shannon had Dante Moncrief playing in the Thursday night game, and he only got 3 yards receiving. Nice. So...
Well, and so what I've been calling us, we have the Feast or Famine League. Like, you either put up 140 or you get 40. It's ridiculous.
And the problem with fantasy this year is just that there's so many people who are like, nobody's reliable. Nobody's like...
So many injuries.
There's
no safe bets.
Everywhere.
I mean, I think the only safe bet, per se, has been Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he's been crazy.
Well, and Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a safe bet, but like,
wasn't at the beginning. Of the season.
Like when everybody was drafting, he was still suspended for the first 4 games.
Right.
So,
damn it.
Which is why Rob got him.
Right.
Because I was saying like it'd be great to have Brady, but
I kept saying like I'm going to take Brady
if he's still available,
but I'm going to wait until round 9 or whatever, you know.
And Rob got him in round 4, I think, or 3 or 4.
No, he went a little later.
A little later than that?
Yeah, but it was earlier than everybody else was comfortable taking him, I think.
And he also went for Gronkowski early to the tight end, but such a good call. Gronk is fucking killing it.
See, but Gronk could get hurt at any moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Before I play Rob, I would really like him to get hurt.
Gronk, very much hear this.
Gronk to blow out his knee.
It doesn't have to be a season ending.
Stripper.
Doesn't have to be season ending injury.
Just for the week.
Just the week. And then the next week that I also have to play Rob again.
Oh, I have a torn ACL. I'm going to be out for, I don't know, 1 week.
Exactly.
It's not a bad tear.
Listen, it's at the point that I'm literally considering doing a Tanya Harding outside the Patriots locker room.
I did
to be sure.
Oh my God, you would be lynched.
I did joke at the Ravens game about
just by Tamra.
I did joke at the Ravens game about doing that to the referees.
Oh God.
Like, how badly do you want to Tanya Harding these referees?
That's another thing, though. This has been the most penalized 5 weeks in the history of the NFL.
Well, let's go back to the actual game on the field, not the fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about these refs. Like, listen, I'm fine if you're gonna be sticklers for the rules.
Yeah.
Call everything.
Right.
Part of the reason why I don't watch the NBA anymore is because you get one drive down the court, you pass the ball around a little bit, and then there's a foul.
Yeah.
Everyone takes like a couple seconds while they do the foul shots, and then you go down the court and foul.
Yeah.
But they never call traveling.
I was going to say, but then you take 9 steps to the
right,
basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't care that much. I don't care if you don't call traveling because you don't do it for anybody.
It's not a real sport. It's not a real sport, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's...
Oh, and
I want them to. I want them to play the game.
Palming.
When you palm the ball,
but
now everybody like dribbles by rolling the ball over in their hand. And I remember that was the pain in my ass when I played in middle school,
right?
Because the ball was so big that you had either to smack it down or there was no way to like pause in your dribble. And now people are like, turn it over, turn it back over, turn it over, turn it back over. God damn it.
In this Ravens Browns game.
Yeah.
Like, there was 11 plays in a row where there was blatant, like, absolutely you could spot it from 150 yards away holding.
Right.
Like, blatant holding.
No call.
no call.
Right.
Yeah, because there's ones like you could see holding on every play, basically. But
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not
blatant holding.
I'm not asking them to call like little tiny like instances
Give a
of
little
holding.
tug. Give a little tug on the.
There was another one where he got it was I think it was a return, like a punt return or something like that, where he was running around the side, and the guy grabbed his face mask and turned his head like all the way around. And I saw it happen live, and I'm just like, okay, where's that penalty flag?
Right.
And then they showed it on the board. I'm just like, all right, penalty. Yeah.
Clearly that's a penalty.
Yeah, reset that vertebrae in his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, he basically could be dead.
Yeah.
Like on the side of the field because his neck was turned the wrong way.
But 6 plays later...
But they're not going to call a penalty on it because...
But 6 plays later, the wide receiver doesn't come to a full rest.
Yeah, not a full, complete 1 second rest prior to the snap.
Illegal
and it was
formation.
like, figure out which is what's important and what's not.
Right. And I got to think the face mask is the big one.
Right.
That's how people get hurt. That's how you get...
Well, I mean, like, the injury to Steve Smith, like, that should have been a penalty because that was leading with the helmet directly into the back.
Right.
Like, if you're not going to protect that, then I don't know what...
And wasn't he in, what's that other rule that they have now? The
defenseless receiver.
Defenseless receiver rule?
Well, no, because he had the ball. He was like running out of bounds, but he was like still in play.
See, I thought his was like a catch on the sidelines, and as he was controlling and going out of bounds, he got hit.
Yeah, but I mean that's legal.
I thought it was like a step. Don't you have to control the ball, take a step, and then you're
no
defenseless?
the defenseless receiver is like when you're like once you've taken a step out of bounds and you get hit.
Okay. Or you jump up in the air and get the hit that knocks your legs out.
Yeah, you can't do the leg knock.
Yeah, because
and have the guy spin and land on his head.
Because there's a lot of instances now, really, where they just keep popping up where the receiver catches it and then like gets hit after taking a step in slow motion, or goes out of bounds and like drops the ball out of bounds. Like he knocks it out and doesn't make the full like football move.
A football. That's what they call it.
The football move.
Yeah.
Like an actual step in real time.
Well, but I find though it also depends, because if the game is a bit close, that now becomes a catch.
Yeah.
Or if it's close to the wrong way, now it's not a catch.
Well, it's like Ravens Falcons. They had the
Redskins Falcons.
Redskins Falcons. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. They had the final Falcons touchdown at the end of regulation,
right?
Where they reviewed it, called it back, and then they just threw a touchdown like the next play or so. But the same thing, where in that moment, receivers are getting annihilated by some of these hits that the cornerbacks and safeties are throwing at them.
When I was watching that game with Russell, Russell the Love Muscle,
today,
at the pub today. And I said to him, I'm like, they should not have challenged. They should have just hoped for the touchdown, because there was 50 seconds left on the clock. You can do something with 50 seconds.
Yeah.
When you score again at 20 seconds, the game's over. There's nothing you can do.
Right.
But 3 timeouts in 50 seconds is a lifetime in the NFL. Just do something with
Especially if you can get it out of bounds. Like if you can just work your way up the sidelines, then
4 or 5 seconds of play,
right?
But not when 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and I love you love the Redskins and they're fine, but their defense isn't going to make a stop there.
Yeah, because
at the end zone.
Yeah, because the touchdown that got called back was at 50 seconds.
Yeah,
and then the touchdown was scored with 24 or so seconds left on the board.
Yeah. But you had to know that they were going for 2, which was going to burn off some additional time. I think the first touchdown was actually at like 53 or 52 seconds, and then they're going to burn off 2 or 3 seconds on the 2-point conversion, get down to 24, and now you're at 20 seconds, and it's not doable. 50 seconds is doable. Ooh, whoops. 50 seconds is doable.
The strong tradition of Rob hitting the microphone on his back.
I hate this fucking mic. This thing, it's sagging again, I think. I can't.
Yeah. Okay, because the Falcons, they threw the first touchdown that got called back at 50 seconds. I think it was 2 plays or so, and they scored with 24 seconds.
Right.
Kicked the field goal.
Right. But I thought
19 points.
I thought they were going to go for 2 to try and get up.
Well, they had already missed a 2-point conversion earlier in the day, plus 2 missed field goals.
Wow. Nonetheless,
which was crazy.
Nonetheless, I said that you hope we take the touchdown with 50 seconds. Your defense is not going to hold. They're going to score.
Yeah.
Score with 50 seconds, not with 20 seconds.
Right.
So, and he was like, no, they'll hold. And 2 plays later, they scored a touchdown.
And then with 24 seconds left, the Redskins go down the field and kick the field goal to go into overtime.
Right. But, again, 50 seconds, and you score a touchdown, and you end the game. 20 seconds, you get into field goal range and kick the field goal.
You could have scored.
Are we talking about the same game?
Yes, the Redskins-Falcons game.
Yes.
The Falcons went up 19-16, and in 24 seconds, Cousin took them down to kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Right. My point was with 50 seconds and less pressure and more time, the timeouts, you might score, which would then make the score 22-19, and you don't get a pick six in the overtime that leads to the game loss.
So the Redskins let them score.
Leave the touchdown at 50 seconds. Yeah.
Well, but in fourth quarter, 50 seconds, it's booth review.
Right. But no, my point was not that they had the option of reviewing it. It was that they were cheering for, like, take back the touchdown. And I was saying, no, that's really stupid. You should hope that the touchdown stands and you get the extra time.
Because I used to, like, in Madden all the time, if, like, somebody was driving on me with, like, 2 minutes left and I was like, listen, I need a touchdown to, like...
Let them score.
Just let them score.
Yeah.
Because I need as many opportunities as I can.
To get back down the field.
Yeah. I might as well just let them score on one play and let that get the time. Like, I'd rather have the time than the...
Well, especially when it was like, they're going to get up by 3... so I can go down and kick a field goal, but I need more time to try and score a touchdown.
Right.
But the other, going back to the Ravens game, the game that actually matters. The thing I didn't like is that it seemed like in the third quarter they started playing cover 2, and I know you were saying about treating them with a little bit of kid gloves, like let them get the catch and then tackle.
Well, I mean, that's just what the defense seems like these days.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't, because the players are good. And I don't know if it's that we're really missing Suggs and we're really missing Pernell McPhee.
And Ray Lewis.
My former flame, Pernell McPhee.
I know you're missing Pernell McPhee.
His warm body next to mine.
Those dreads.
Look out, Rachel.
Those dreads.
Yeah. Actually, they wouldn't be in your face because I sense you would be Little Spoon in that endeavor.
Well, no, like I'm the type who
anything
like
about Corey Little.
I'm the one. Next to Pernell McPhee.
Yeah, next to 6'5", 270 pound Pernell McPhee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but there's dreads draped across your face while you were just playing with them.
I'm the type who just likes to sort of climb the mountain a bit. Like I'm one of those. I'm like one of those cats who like curls up on your hip when you fall asleep. It's like you don't want to move because it's so cute on
I was going to say that you break its neck and then throw it out the window. Is that not what we do?
That's just the way to deal with cats. Yeah.
Wake up in the morning and the girlfriend's like, oh my God, my cat. And it's like, wow, that's weird. I wonder how that happened.
Exactly.
See that Seth MacFarlane joke? Do you see the girlfriend in the morning and then it flashes back to night?
Yeah.
Snapping the neck and throwing out the windows. Yeah, no idea.
No idea.
Absolutely.
But no, the defense. I was telling people at the bar today. It's like it's not that they're. I mean, they are bad.
They're very bad.
But it's not that they're bad. It's that usually we have such good defense. Like we're known for the defense. We win Super Bowls on defense, and now they just can't put it together.
But there's players there that should be playing better than they do. Like, fucking Lardarius Webb and Jimmy Smith, like, this is the first time we've actually had them, like, healthy and playing the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
But they can't come up with a stop.
Yeah.
And, Kendrick Lewis is fine, and the linebacking crew is fine with Darryl Smith and C.J. Mosley and everything like that. But there's no pass rush.
I'll say, on paper, they look like they should be doing well.
Right, even without Suggs, though.
Yeah,
I mean, like...
even without Suggs.
I mean, Suggs helps a lot, but, you could...
Wait, it's like, listen, it's like...
We lost Nada.
Right, well, that's a problem.
We lost McPhee, and we lost Suggs. That's basically the losses on the defense. And you say to yourself, like, those are 3 really key pieces, but we have a lot of other...
Well, and here's the thing about Suggs, though.
We have complementary pieces that should fill the hole.
Suggs helps, But a lot of what he does is what Clay Matthews and J.J. Watt do. Drawing 3 blockers when they're on the field.
Right, and
J.J.
Nada
Watt
did the same thing with like 2 blockers because he's such a large force in the middle of the...
But J.J. Watt had, on Thursday night, had like a half a tackle and 2 touches on the quarterback, like in the process, but no sacks.
Yeah, they were really shutting him down.
Well, but here's the thing, though. They shut him down. That opens the door for someone else because they were double teaming him every play, and then sometimes the tight end was chip blocking him on the way out.
Yeah.
When you're spending that much resources on one player, something's going to break down. And so Suggs adds. I mean, he has tackles, he has sacks. But the big thing he adds is that when Peyton steps up to the line, he's like, Omaha, Omaha, Omaha to Suggs as he creeps up on the line. You know what I mean? Like, and we're missing that, but there should be pieces that fill that gap. And we're just not fucking putting it together. Whatever.
And just the game plan, just in general.
Yeah.
So it's 2 parts with the defense. It's the game plan is not good.
Yeah.
They're not preparing the way they should.
Well, and playing cover 2 in the third quarter is probably not the way that you win football games.
Right. They were trying to guard against the big play. But what burned us all day was a halfback screen.
Yeah.
They must have thrown that, out route to that halfback,
6 or 7 times?
No, way more.
Oh, well.
Had to have been 15 or 20 times that they just sort of gave up those 5 yards.
Right. Well, no,
but it's one of those if you give up 5 yards every time, you're going to lose because you're just going to give up first downs. And if you're giving somebody 2nd and 5, you're increasing the likelihood of I was saying, this is where I miss Ed Reed.
Right.
Because Ed Reed would see them do this 3 times and then say, they're going to pull this one again.
I'm going to pick that off.
Now, I'm just going to dash in between them and have a no-holds-bar roll to the end zone.
Yeah.
70-yard return, you know?
Ed Reed. Okay, maybe not now because he's a little old to probably be doing that now, but,
I mean, if you are open, just in the middle of the field, if you intercept that halfback pass where there's nobody behind you, you should be able to outrun enough people
to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the problem is, though,
because fucking
if you do that
defensive linemen do that all the time, where they're, there's a fumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, and they're the only person there, and they just are
It was the, in the Lions-Cardinals game today, where the Stafford tried to throw a screen. The number 90, the lineman, tipped it to himself.
Yeah.
And then he's rumbling and bumbling and stumbling down the field. And the only one to tackle him was Stafford to take out his legs.
And I was going to say, and then
the 2.
Then he had to go get oxygen. And he's like, I'm done for today.
Yeah, that was...
I don't have it in me.
That was the Vince Wilfork touchdown from a while ago. It's he already scored. Get him on oxygen. Don't let him die on the field.
But I mean, it's so
Vince Wilfork has after returning a touchdown, a fumble return for a touchdown, has that breath of somebody who's about to have a heart attack.
I shouldn't have done this.
No.
This is actually a bad idea.
All he does is just drop the ball in the end zone and continue moving directly into the locker room. Just nah, I'm done for today. Thanks, guys.
Forrest Gump style.
Yeah, just keep running.
Put me in the iron lung.
Well, so the other thing, though, is the fucking penalties are killing us.
I've come up with an idea, by the way.
Okay.
If the NFL... I did my tweet where it was this perfectly reasonable Ravens fan. Yeah. Where it's just I hope somebody stabs this referee in the fucking face.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. You're talking about fans that scream bullshit on national TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but here's what I think. If the NFL really loves us, in addition to the red challenge flag that the coach can throw out, there should be another colored flag,
brown,
beige or brown or fuchsia or whatever.
Right. Oh, that's bullshit.
No, and literally just throw it out on the field. Be I know you can't turn around a penalty or you can't add one after the fact,
but that's bullshit.
But just look under the hood. I want you to look under the hood, and I want you to tell me what you think.
I want you to see what you
and
did.
Then
how about a confetti gun?
And then the referee goes and looks at it. And then if, in fact, it was a penalty that he missed, or he threw a flag and he shouldn't have or whatever, I want him to come back out, stand on the field like he does, turn on his microphone, take his hat off, and just, hold it down solemnly and be listen, I understand I made a mistake. I apologize.
Send him to the Green Mile.
I award you no points.
God have mercy.
God have mercy on myself. But I know you can't do that because it's cruel to the referees or whatever. But if it's really a sport for the fans, like if we're the ones paying for this, I think there should be like at least 3 times where you can throw out like, oh no, that's bullshit flag. Like,
what? And so, how about this? This is what I'll propose: that where the referee has to stand on the field, that at certain increments there are trapdoors. And the fans have buttons, and much like the old Roman Coliseum,
if 80% of the fans hit their
thumbs
button
down, the ref actually drops down through the field, and then somebody else has to come out of the locker room and fill his spot.
Like all over the field, or on
Just
like the
random trapdoors.
I would love it if there was like, as the referee like walks out of like the ramp to like go onto the field, there's just like one guy with like whip, and he's like, "Get on there, you're in next."
They're trying to like run over the sides, and the fans push them back.
Yeah,
he's like, "No, I don't want to be in there. Get out here,
get in there."
They have different trapdoors for each stadium. And they have to do the thing, if you watch the game in London, I think they were retrofitting a soccer field.
If it was Philly, the trapdoor would just always be open.
Everybody's just constantly pressing the button, Bane style.
But yeah, they had
the players run out.
Like the London
all
game.
The zebras will fall tonight.
Then blow up the field like in Dark Knight Rises. But they had like the big awnings in front of the actual grandstands to like fill in the empty space from the soccer field. But you have that, and there's like, you don't have an escape route.
Nope, no.
Referee.
Oh god.
I'm really shocked that the referees from the Ravens game like lived though.
Yeah, they have police protection.
Ozzie Newsome's check didn't clear until the end of the
game. I joke too that another perfectly reasonable Ravens fan thing.
Oh, sure, yes.
Like you just you get a suit, like a tuxedo and a hat, and you like rent out like a Lincoln Town car or something like that, and you're just like, when the referees come up, it's just like, I'm here ride back to the airport. and then just like in the trunk is like nitroglycerin or something like that. And then at some point you just go like, so how was the game today? It's just like, I think we did pretty well. I think we called it pretty fair. And it's just like, yeah. And then you hit the cruise control and you just set it, and then you barrel roll out of the car. And then just let it hit the wall and explode.
Right.
Like, that would be lovely.
That'd be ideal. Is that what you're looking for?
I think what I want is I just want like more like, you know how like TMZ like knocks a celebrity down a peg or two?
Right. Do the same thing.
I'd love it if my referees got the same kind of like...
Sure.
Can we say...
Boom, boom, boom.
It'd be like 60 miles...
Ed Hockley stabbed after Eagles game.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Survived because of massive biceps.
Oh, yeah.
The knife actually in bent. The bicep and bent.
But it should be like the 60-mile zone, so it's like 2 miles outside of each stadium that all these reporters flood into.
Yeah.
Catch all of the refereeing teams.
Well, we've been a little sports bally today.
Yeah, balls.
Let's keep that going. So FanDuel, by the way, FanDuel, baby. All right.
So if they don't
enter promo code, you ain't gonna win shit.
So a big story came out. So you don't use FanDuel?
No.
I know you were thinking about using it by just playing my team, and
yeah, I heard that. I'm sad you actually didn't.
I don't know that it would have done very well. No, not a good team this week. But every previous week, I think
I was just running into people who were like putting up career weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
which
Rob's
is part
team,
of that. Like, if you had Rob's schedule, you'd be 2-1.
Right.
Be like, son of a bitch.
Like schedule means your team, like you pick the players, or you chose to
like we play different members of the league.
Yeah,
each
so
week.
if like you weren't playing on week 4,
if I was playing the teams that Rob was playing, and he was playing the teams that I was playing, he would have been 0-3, and I would have been 2-1.
Right.
Okay.
Which is what it was, right? Going into
something
that,
like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just the luck of the draw that what they do is they look at the score you had, all your players had, and put that against somebody else.
Right.
But there's sometimes you wouldn't play that team, you wouldn't do things differently, so it's not really easy to say that.
Well, I mean, I think it's
unless it's Corey's team.
Yes.
I think it's pretty locked up. I hardly ever make a change based off who my opponent is playing.
Sometimes I do. like I was going to change my defense this week and did not do that. So
Who'd you have?
Cleveland against Baltimore. And I was like, oh, man. Let's see. The 4-week projection had Cleveland really high. They were actually number 3 or 4. And so I was like, okay, so I'll stick with Cleveland, and then I'm just going to trade somebody else off my bench, bring in another defense for the week. Because I don't think this is the week that's bringing down Cleveland's average.
Yeah.
And then things got busy, and I actually helped Stephanie with her fantasy team. And I forgot to make changes on my own team, so that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did not get a chance to change that, unfortunately. But no, so you haven't done FanDuel.
No, and you know what? I honestly don't really like. Nothing about it interests me.
Listen, just enter promo code Sidekick, and you can.
If you put a noun into the keyword, it's probably been there.
Especially a football related noun.
Yeah, like kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even saw Rover 2. So, like, they had used Rover before, so they're using Rover again.
Yeah. But it turns out probably good that you didn't. Because it's all...
It's all a sham.
It is.
It's not... I don't think it's a sham. But the problem is that, like, on both... I think it's on DraftKings especially, but I don't know if it's on FanDuel, but probably much the same. If you don't win more than $20, you can't take it out.
Right. So you have to keep playing.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a Deadspin report that we'll put in the show notes where the guy was just like, yes, I played DraftKings, and yes, it was as terrible as you think it would be.
Yeah.
And he placed like, he got into like a $3 or $5 contest or something like that, and he placed like 18,000th.
Yeah.
And he won $5.
But you can't get your $5 out.
But you can't get your $5 out until you hit 20.
Right.
That's when they'll write you a check or send you it via PayPal.
Yeah.
So you just use that $5 you have in the bank towards a contest next week.
Right.
And it's much like the principle, like when we went to play blackjack at that casino, we said like, all right, we each have $100. This is
No. Rob
we had $100.
Yes, and I gave Zach $100.
Yeah.
And then he won, and fucking I had to fight him to get my money back. Yeah.
Get your investment back.
Yeah, not even a percentage of what he won. I had to fight him to get my money back from that he was playing with.
But the idea was like we were sitting down, we were saying, listen, if we lose $100 while we're sitting here for 5 hours, then that's the cost of entertainment. We're getting free drinks and shit like that.
We did get a shit ton of free drinks.
Right.
And smoked an entire pack of cigarettes sitting at the table. And scared the little Chinese lady who was doing cards.
Well, that's because I was also betting on the Pats game.
Run, you son of a bitch!
Which I won't do DraftKings, but I'll gladly go to Vegas and place a bet on a football game.
That's also part of being in Vegas, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if that was available to me, like, just every week, like, there's a part of me that might think about like going down to, one of the local casinos and putting a bet down on something.
You could probably use it.
Yeah, so. I mean, we can go to Harrington or...
No, you can't do sports betting.
You can't do sports, though.
No. Horse racing, yes, but not sports betting.
I think Vegas is the only place you can do it still.
It might be, because you can't do it in New Jersey anymore either.
Yeah, you can't do it in Jersey.
So Vegas.
Maybe I'm thinking of my trip to Vegas, that I'm thinking of the big boards.
Well,
but I figure I thought I saw it somewhere else. Maybe they're just giving the odds.
Some casinos you can't place bets, but they do have the odds on the board.
Yeah.
And then you go to the bathroom or you go outside and make a quote unquote phone call, and then you come back in and watch the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't do
it. You talk to your friend in Vegas.
Right. But you can't actually place the bets there. But I mean, they also have the horse racing up on the boards that you can bet on, which because obviously these are so different that we can't do one, but we can certainly do the other.
Yeah, because it was my trip to the casino in Dover Downs, that they have the big wall.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
But I think we can all agree the part that's most infuriating about DraftKings and FanDuel and all these things is that they are taking over every aspect of our lives, basically. Like
number one is that they spent $6 billion on advertising.
Since August 2015.
Yes.
6.8 billion.
So that means that is why every commercial break has a FanDuel commercial or a DraftKings commercial. But that wasn't enough.
No, now they have to have the FanDuel Player of the Week. And if you listen to like the Fantasy Focus podcast like I do, or read Matthew Berry's column, like it's just littered with people like, if you're playing DraftKings this weekend, here's an interesting pick.
I don't want to
Like
know
it's
that.
a low value pick. Like I want to know the guy that I could pick up off my waivers and
He's going to score 40 points.
yeah, or not even just
Antonio
like
Gates.
like somebody who I wasn't expecting to get a big game, but like listen, matchup's really good for this guy.
Yeah.
If he's available in your league,
Grab him.
pick him up
Yeah.
because this might be the week that you can get a cheap wide receiver play or something like that. You know.
Whoever's
Like,
got
so-
Jamal Charles back up.
Right, like I had Alan Hearns play today and have like 17 points.
Right.
Like I don't think he was available in leagues.
Yeah.
You know, like he might not be available, but if Alan Hearns is available, pick him up because he might be good for a big game.
But you're not getting that now from from podcasts, from NFL Network, from
No.
anybody. All what you're getting is the FanDuel Player of the Week.
Right.
He's only 3,500, but he's a sleeper and he's going to pick up some points for you.
Well, you got things like ESPN like having a small stake in DraftKings.
Right.
And then they have a sort of advertising contract which is like it goes far beyond. If they had segments brought to you by,
And they do.
like that would be a different thing. Like they say, like
Yeah.
Ice Talk brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz, the best automobile you can buy, or whatever. Like
Gruden's Grinder, brought to you by Nationwide.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they show the logo, and it's like da 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 da.
Right.
That's fine. But like when they do the
Let's pretend this is a fantasy.
fantasy minute, and it's just like, you know who's really trending well on DraftKings right now? Todd Gurley.
It doesn't fucking
He's
help.
been incredible.
Yeah.
Yet he still has a $1,300 price point. I'm just like,
That means nothing to me.
Yeah, none of these things mean anything to me. Like, what I love about sports betting is that I can look at a line, and it says, New England by 4.5.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, is New England going to score 5 points or higher?
Yeah.
Or 4 points or less? I think they're going to outscore
Probably.
the 4.5. So I'm going to take the over.
Yeah.
And now I just need, not only do I need the Patriots to win, but I need them to win by 5 or more.
Right.
And that's easy to comprehend and understand.
And apparently it was easy bet. I doubt that was the line on the
No, but I'm just,
Patriots, yeah.
I was throwing out a
the
random,
Cowboys
like,
game was like, let's see, I think the over is 42, so
I'm throwing out a random,
there's
like,
a chance.
yeah.
Right. No, I got it. Go ahead.
But the, like,
30-6.
was it?
That was the Patriots score, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Brandon Whedon, and it's there's a reason.
And Tom Brady's on his fuck the NFL tour.
Yeah, basically. And he went into their nicest, newest, biggest stadium and gave a big fuck you to everybody.
Yeah.
So big.
He might as well just like at the end of every
Wait,
touchdown.
where's Jerry Jones's box? Yeah.
Oh,
Sure
fuck
that.
you.
Oh,
Right. 30.
I was in this group when I said the Niners won, right?
Maybe.
Giants actually won.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good job.
Last second touchdown by Odell Beckham Jr. Thank God I don't have him on my team anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Wait,
because I thought
when did you trade him? Oh, you traded him
this week.
to Chelsea.
But you know what?
For
I'm
Andrew
okay
Luck.
with
For
it.
Andrew Luck. But, I mean, luckily he played this year. So
Luckily,
luckily he
Well, I also traded for
one for Rob.
I took DeMarco Murray off her hands.
played. Yeah.
Because I think she was just so frustrated with how he played the first 4 weeks.
Right.
Which is the same boat I was in with Odell Beckham Jr. I was just
I
like,
meant to veto that trade. God damn it.
listen, I'm not a fan of Odell Beckham Jr. anymore.
Right.
Like, he's perfectly fine, but he's getting covered like crazy, and he never is going to. He's not going to be the guy he was last year.
That miracle catch.
Right.
Oh, God.
Well, not only that, but like the 15 touchdowns for the rest of the year, whatever it was.
I don't give a fuck about that. I mean, that catch was insane.
That's all we really care about.
Yeah, we
Right.
don't care about the stats, just the catch.
Just the catch.
That catch was extra 5 points in fantasy.
God.
If you had a PBR miracle catch category.
Yeah. Yahoo just goes in and is like, listen.
If you're
we
on
gotta do
sports,
something.
if you're on SportsCenter top 10, it's plus 10 on the catch. No, but I mean, it's clearly gambling.
Yes.
And even people on ESPN who are in agreements with DraftKings are saying like, let's be real, this is gambling.
Right.
This is just dressing up a pig. You're calling it something else.
Here's what I heard. Here's how I understand it. That DraftKings and FanDuel are to sports betting as Uber is to a taxi service, or Lyft, or Fly, or Leaf. These are all...
Or Sidecar.
So what they say is that what Uber does is that there are people who are willing to drive, and there are people who want to ride. And all we do is we connect the people who want to drive with the people who want to ride. And we make a safe way for them to exchange money, much like you might take $10 from your buddy to drive you around. So if that's what service we provide, and we take a little off the top for our fees, but otherwise it's certainly not providing a taxi service. We're just connecting people. And that FanDuel and DraftKings do the same thing. There's a guy in San Francisco and there's a guy in Baltimore who both want to play fantasy football. They can't get involved for a whole season, so we're just going to do it for the week. And all we're doing is allowing them to come in contact with each other the same way that they might if they lived in the same pool. And by most states' laws, you doing a fantasy football pool is not illegal. It's not gambling under the technical sense. So that's what they say. It's not so much gambling as it is connecting people to play a friendly fantasy football league with 37,000 people in one game.
By the way, you want to guess the spread in the Patriots Cowboys game?
Patriots by 17. More?
No.
Did they cover the spread?
Less. Oh yeah,
Really?
they covered the spread.
What was it?
9.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon Whedon and 9?
Yeah.
Huh. That's surprising.
Almost tripled that.
But they
Yeah.
24.
they do the spread isn't like what they think the outcome of the game is going to be. It's like where people feel comfortable betting.
Right. I would have been comfortable much higher than that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you at 17, the number of people who are betting for the Cowboys over the Patriots would be astronomically high.
True. Right.
So they want to find the number where people will bet evenly.
Like, I would.
9's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Like you can't guarantee. It's not like they're not the Jaguars, or the Redskins.
Didn't Jags win today though?
Yeah, I think they did.
God, Brian Bortles. Glad I didn't say that name.
What a sad name.
Just not good.
Get in here, Bortles.
Bortles.
But
We're not borderly enough for the Bortle Club.
Bortles.
Before we miss out on it, I do want to say that FanDuel and DraftKings are now looking at 2.
Did you say that Jags?
Yeah.
They lost today to the Bucks, 38-31.
Well, that's just
Battle of Florida.
and a battle of 0-3, 0-4 teams.
Did they do it in front of 1,200 people?
Literally, all the football fans in Florida were there. So
Because the Dolphins have the bye week, so yeah, everybody's there.
Everybody's there,
and they're in the same general area up there on the corner.
No.
It's
I don't
pretty.
know if you know geography of Florida.
It's pretty far.
That's incorrect. Yes. Jacksonville is on the East Coast, right up near the Georgia line.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is on the West Coast.
Tampa.
That's right. Yeah.
Tampa and Jacksonville are like 6.5, 7 hours apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Miami from Tampa, which would be the closest.
Is the tip. Fort
is
Lauderdale
like
is
another like 7 hours apart.
Is north of Tampa Bay.
Fort Lauderdale is also on the East Coast.
Here's what I don't get. Like
Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Sarasota.
It feels like it takes like 10 hours to drive from like Jacksonville to Miami.
Yeah.
But like it would take you, if you drove consecutively straight without stopping, like 40 hours to get from here to California.
Right.
So you shouldn't be able to like go make 2 round trips from like Jacksonville to...
It's not actually 10 from Jacksonville to Miami.
What do you think it is?
It's probably 5. I would say 5.
Over under 7.5.
Under. I'll take the under on that.
Yeah, because when I went down to visit my uncle in Tallahassee,
put your karma on the table, and we'll.
Okay.
We're playing for 15 American karmas.
Right.
Yeah, because my uncle lived in Tallahassee, and
that's different.
That's in the Panhandle. But when we flew into Jacksonville, and it was a 2-hour. I'm pretty sure it was a 2-hour drive from Jacksonville to Tallahassee.
Right.
And I'm thinking of Daytona. Which
is on the East Coast.
Is just south of Jacksonville.
just
All right,
south,
so
but it's south.
you were right.
Yeah.
4 hours and 58 minutes.
Oh, got him!
But look at there for Colin. Like it basically the entire coast of the
Right.
from
So-
the topmost corner to the bottommost corner.
And then Tampa Bay is about 4 hours to Miami, and about
I'd
4
say-
hours to Jacksonville. So
I guess if there's not a road that cuts like in between,
there's
but-
not. No,
'cause it was like because there's a road.
311 from Jacksonville to Tampa.
Get the weird.
Exciting podcast talk here, by the way, guys.
Let's talk about Florida on
America's
your local
penis.
Baltimore.
America's penis.
If New Jersey, New Jersey is the armpit, what does that make Florida?
Yeah.
This is the Florida corner
So wait, tell me though.
where we
how,
talk about meth and meth accessories.
how. So it was 311 from Jacksonville to Tampa, and I said 4.
Yeah.
I said a little less than 4. So what is it from Tampa to Miami? Wait. It is 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Is that your final
That's my
answer?
final answer.
422. I like the
4
the
hours
number.
and 22 minutes.
What?
is,
Okay, so if I put the
Part of the riff from Fade to Black.
wager at 415,
Okay.
would you go with the under or the over?
Where in Tampa Bay and where in Miami?
Central Tampa to Central Miami.
What's the traffic like?
Well, no, I mean we even know traffic.
It's
Here's what I'll
listed as
say.
current traffic, which is
From traffic-
At
fastest.
that time.
From Tropicana to South Beach. I'll take the over.
Okay, so we got to
From
get
the
all
Trop,
specific.
from the Trop to South Beach, it is to be. I'll take the over
would-
at 4:15.
I would
Insert-
love it. I would love it if it was just like, why do you want to go to Tropicana Field?
What if? Okay,
Do people go there?
414.
It's close enough.
If. So
But-
we're doing
so you-
over under on 4.
So
4
you're
hours
saying
15.
over?
I'll take the at 4:15. I'll take the over from the Trop to South Beach.
Okay. Well, you lose.
Okay.
What are you at?
It's 3 hours and 55 minutes. Keep in mind that the Trop isn't in Tampa; it's in St. Pete,
God damn it!
which is technically closer.
Yes. Fuck.
The time from Central Tampa to Central Miami.
I was not thinking of the Trop. I was thinking of the Yankee Stadium in Tampa Bay.
It was 4:05.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But look how fucking close that
You
was.
were close.
Come on.
I know. I
on.
just wanted to get some free
I
karma
said
out of you.
4
So-
and then 4:22.
I just wanted to get
Okay,
some
so
mad
this is-
karma out of this
So
situation.
now, right now, this is the guy who just paid all his rent money to the dealer is like,
Jesus
trying to
Christ.
get it back. No,
Right.
No, this is our money now.
Well, I got
so
some
you
side-
lost the bet.
I got some side action on how long it takes you to get from
Can we get back to the topic? So,
Fayetteville to Georgia to Atlanta. What do you got? 6
wait,
hours?
which Fayetteville? Which Fayetteville?
What would be the
There's several.
over under on the trip
Alabama.
from Atlanta to Alexandria, Walking
Virginia?
Dead style?
Walking. Yeah. How long does it take to walk from Florida?
Shamble. If a zombie.
Zombie. All right. So anyway, so FanDuel has and DraftKings have two separate situations that they're dealing with. Number one is an insider trading racket because apparently somebody on FanDuel who works for the company made won a $350,000 league and may or may not have had some insider information.
Well, I heard the figure is that FanDuel employees have won 3% of all the money DraftKings has ever put out, which
Right.
is $6 million that FanDuel employees have won.
Right, and the thing is, that it's okay if you win the $20 thing or whatever.
Right.
It's when you put your name into that $350,000 and then you win it.
See, but even there, like, I don't think there's, like, so much inside trading
Yeah.
as much as there's, like, if you have a real understanding of how it works and you are committed to it,
Right.
that because, I mean, there's an aspect of dumb luck to this. Because,
Well-
like, how many people in daily fantasy today do you think took Eddie Lacy?
A lot.
Going,
I did.
like, listen, he's the safe bet to get,
Right.
80 yards and a touchdown, and he might even go bigger than that.
Here's the thing,
and the
though.
price is right on him, and blah 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 blah. And like, I like Eddie Lacy, and I can't just load it up with like people who may or may not like.
See, I think you're thinking of insider trading a different way. If you could pick your team after the 1 o'clock games, how much would that help you?
Oh, you mean like do it after the fact?
Yeah. And apparently, I think the allegation is, though, that they let the 1 o'clock games play, and then they either choose players who have already played, or...
See, I haven't heard that part. I thought they were just
risk.
people who are, like... Because, like, in reality, somebody who, like, works in the stock market...
Right.
would be better at picking stocks for his own personal portfolio
That is
than, like, me or you.
That is actually not true. There was a Today I Learned where they had... It was, like... stockbrokers and monkeys, and
right.
the monkeys did better after.
Well,
I think there were yearly checks, and the monkeys did better.
I think though the problem is that you're ruxing yourself. That like if I'm investing my own money, because Corey's a big fan of ruxing himself. That's what happens on Saturday morning. He starts overthinking everything.
He gets ruxed up.
Yeah. But I think that if you are investing your own money, you do that. Like, you know, a stockbroker knows how it works, and they're supposed to, you know, buy low, sell high. When the market takes a shit, dump more money in. Because then when it comes back, because it'll always come back, you'll make a killing. And people like you and I are like, fuck, I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
I'll take a loss right now.
Sell.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so my understanding of it was that there were some allegations of insider information that once the game started, which is supposed to lock you out for the week, that afterward people were changing or entering their score or their teams, and that if you had known Arian Foster really was going to be on the bench, how much better would it have been? If you knew he was giving, limited touches versus the running rule. So, I mean, if you have information... And,
well, yeah, I mean, like, if I knew ahead of time that he was only going to get 8 touches, I wouldn't have started him.
Right.
I would have picked somebody else.
So they're choosing people after the 1 o'clock games are done.
I read a story that the internal investigation hasn't been... It's been sent to the New York Attorney General's office, whatever happened of it. But my understanding of it was that one of the allegations or one of the accusations is that they were either changing their teams after the fact, that they were entering their teams after the game's already started, or that people at FanDuel had inside information that the public didn't have otherwise. Like Arian Foster only playing limited touches.
Right.
And so like they are partnered with ESPN. They are partnered with... not the NFL Network, but other networks, and that information that comes out right after the game starts, they may have had right before the game started.
Right.
And listen, if you work for the Orioles and you want playoff tickets, somehow I think that the website works a little better for you than it does for us.
Yeah.
So if I want to change at 12:59, I want to change my FanDuel lineup. There's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, and maybe it lags, and then 1 o'clock hits and I'm locked in. If I work at FanDuel, maybe it doesn't lock out, you know. And the other thing is you can't see trends. You can't see what everyone else is doing. You do get some information, but it's not like everybody everywhere. And imagine if you, like a stock ticker, had all of the players changing the positions of their values.
Yeah.
And you had access to all of that at once.
Well, there was a stock story about how in different... So they still run stock tickers on, like, dedicated phone lines,
right,
like the main ones. And the electronic version of it, like the ones that like people will get on like Stock Trader or whatever the case may be, is like 5.5 seconds behind these dedicated lines.
Right.
So there were people who were able to place large orders of stocks 5.5 seconds quicker than people who were doing it on the computer. And we're making a ton of money just by having a 5.5 second advantage.
Well, and there's the whole thing of that, if you have it feed into your computer, that you can move big stock just half a penny here and there and here everywhere, and it adds up a lot.
Yeah.
That if you get it a little bit cheaper, when I buy my stock, it makes yours more expensive because obviously now demand is high, so price goes up. Mm-hmm. But if I get it in... I can see that you're about to put in a trade, and before you can complete it, I complete mine.
Right.
I get it at a better price than you did.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not locked until it's processed. So, and there's Stearns and Foster, Bear Stearns.
Yeah.
What's Stearns and Foster? Is that a paint company? Anyway,
Yes.
Is it so? Bear Stearns. Apparently, that was one of the things that their hotshots were doing, was figuring this stuff out. They'd make not bets. They'd make trades for you or I with a regular system, and then the company was profiting from this like lag. From getting space in the lag, so, but no. So the other thing that the DraftKings and FanDuel are having problems with is states are starting to say this is gambling, and we need to wet our beak. We need to wet our beak a little bit. Well, not that we hate gambling, we want it.
If you go on to Play, you'll see a notice. That was me.
Was it you? Yeah. Sorry, that was me.
You'll see a notice of like 3 different states. Wyoming, Montana, and somewhere else. Probably Utah, I'd imagine. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like, we are not allowed to accept any games from people who live in Wyoming, Montana, or Utah.
Right.
But one of those 3 states, I think it was Wyoming. I don't know. Please forgive me. It's somewhere in the upper Midwest.
Yeah. One of those boxy ones. Yeah.
Sorry, Wyoming.
One of those square-looking ones.
Yeah.
Rectangular. They have their own in-house lottery, which does the same thing as Daily Fantasy.
Right.
So you can play it through the Montana State Lottery or
Just
whatever.
can't play it through
DraftKings, because they don't want you to put that money in.
Government hates competition.
And I'll tell you this, too. The NFL, just over the course of this last 3 years or so, has built up a lobbying presence in Washington.
Right.
The thing that allowed DraftKings and FanDuel to take over was stuck an appropriations bill for the military.
Okay.
Last second add-on.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Where it's just like, and it was like, oh no, I'm sorry, it was terrorism for ports. Mm-hmm. It was a nominal amount of money that was supposed to drastically prepare or like allow the nation's ports to be secured in the case of a terrorist attack.
So it's getting passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the last minute is when they put on all the extra, like, bells and whistles that they want.
Yeah.
And one of them was a gambling bill, which basically said that this wasn't gambling.
Daily Fantasy wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And the NFL pushed hard for it. And honestly, I was talking to you about this. With, like, the Ravens game, like, the catch that wasn't a catch. And,
right.
Or the thing that wasn't a catch that turned out to be a catch, or whatever we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It seems like the NFL over the last couple seasons has gotten a little bit more tricky about how all of a sudden penalties happen
when they need to happen,
or things happen when a spread needs to be covered,
right?
Or when somebody's getting a little out of hand. I'm not saying that they're doing this because it wouldn't be good for business if they decided to get in the business of gambling, but it's just really kind of shady how it's just all of a sudden happening like this. And, like, the Super Bowl was a great example. Like, it's one of those, like, oh, this perfectly reasonable thing happened.
Right. The Ravens Super Bowl, you mean?
Yeah. Where the lights went out.
Right.
And it's just like, well, this could happen. But then, as soon as it happened, everything blew up with, like, Super Bowl blackout. And, people were tuning in to figure out what happened. And it's like, oh, we'll be back in 15 minutes when this thing... And then as soon as they came back, the 49ers started rallying.
Right.
But, like, we probably would have cruised to an easy victory if that never happened.
Change of momentum with the lights.
And people stopped watching, and they turned off the Super Bowl because it was getting out of hand. And
right.
I don't know. Like, I really... somewhere deep inside, I think the NFL wanted a year or two of FanDuel and DraftKings, and even, like, Yahoo as a daily fantasy...
Right.
entity to go smoothly.
Make sure it's all on the up and up.
All on the up and up, and that people weren't fighting it.
Right.
People were accepting of it or liked it, because then the NFL could break out its own daily fantasy.
Right.
And collect all that money for themselves.
NFL.
Because they would be the best position to take over the entire market.
So you're saying they would let the DraftKings FanDuel go, then, like, stop supporting them. Hey, here's our system.
Yeah. I mean, like, if ESPN pays a shit ton of money to the NFL to carry
the
games,
night, or Thursday night football with NFL Network.
Or no, Monday night.
Monday Night.
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
That's right, yeah.
So, the NFL could basically just go to the negotiation table and be like, listen, if you want to cover it, you're going to have to cover our daily fantasy, too.
And, by the way, we don't allow competition.
Right.
So you can't have ads for anybody except us.
Yeah, don't talk DraftKings, don't talk FanDuel. Because the NFL, I think, just right now has say over the advertisements that they...
Yes and no.
That air on their games.
There's certain... they have their own S&P. Yeah, they have their own S&P people that have to review stuff. But
I mean, like, they don't want certain things to, like... So they're fine with, like, alcohol and...
Yeah.
But they wouldn't want, like...
Justice for Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, or whatever.
Anything no pro-life commercials. There's nothing controversial. It's all...
no pass Prop 8 to ban back alley abortions or whatever.
Well, and I got to say, NFL, if you get into this, I have one piece of advice for you. Don't spend $6 billion on advertising because people just start hating you for the advertising.
Well, it's not even that. It's the... I'm so sick and tired of the branded content. Like the listening to a podcast and hearing like, whoever's just $1,800 on DraftKings. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play DraftKings. I'm not gonna. No matter how much free money you give me to play, I'm never gonna do it.
Well, so how about this? I have a bet for you.
Okay.
Because I noticed you just kind of walked past my accusation earlier about how playing in college was much like playing a 10-year-old, where I took it a little easy and made him feel good. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, who don't listen to the podcast, that would be me talking about Cory. In college, we had an ongoing basketball duel in which I was up about 1,000, maybe 1,000%. Yeah, let's call it 1,000%.
Okay.
I had 1,000% victory rating over Cory. So, how about a friendly wager within the Anthem family, one-on-one basketball? We'll see how it goes.
Well, I need to definitely make up for the performance of my team in the fantasy league.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Because I can't let that stand.
Right, yeah.
I need to feel like a big winner here somehow.
This is not the way to do it.
So I accept your challenge.
Okay.
We'll find a place.
We'll play a little basketball.
Play a little one-on-one. We'll film it all.
Sounds good to me. I think that's a good plan. Well, you know what's not making a wager?
What?
Riding with Uber. I just started driving with Uber this past weekend, and I got to tell you, you meet some fantastic people. You make a lot of easy money. I made $200 in 10 hours of work in the last 2 days.
That's almost lawyering money.
It's almost lawyering money with much less effort. And you meet much more interesting people.
And much less postgraduate degrees.
Very much less. But I got to say that... So
even Colin could do that job.
I wouldn't go that far. So...
well, with a couple accidents, old speeding tickets, we'll see.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that... so for those of you who are on the Eastern Shore and listen, Uber is now available in Kent Island, in Greater Queen Anne's County, Talbot County, even here in Caroline, Cambridge, Salisbury, Ocean City. It's all over. Download the Uber app.
It's all over.
You can go to robertandcheek.com and find a link to the Uber app. And here's what I want to do. I want to encourage drivers to get out there because I think that, people think more competition's bad. No, more competition's good. If we have more drivers, certainly then more people will use the app. So I have access to 5 people. I can make 5 people get in and start driving with Uber. So if you want to drive with Uber, I want you to stop right now and send an email to uberwithrob, UberWithRob @gmail.com. And for the first 5 people who send me an email, I'm going to send you a link to start driving with Uber so we can get some new drivers on the road.
You know what I'm thinking about doing?
What's that?
I was like, you know what? Maybe I should email him right now about it, just so I could get in. But then I'm like, you know what? I'll remember this later.
Yeah.
By the time I do, those 5 people are going to be...
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't do it now. Do it now because
I'm listening to
What's
it.
That email again?
I got my insider trading already.
Technically, it is a little because you're ahead of time. You could certainly jump in there. We got 2 people here who could jump in.
What's that email again?
It's
Uberwithrob.
Uberwithrob @gmail.com. And like I said, for the first 5 people, I will send out invitations, private invitations to join Uber and be
Sometimes
drivers.
Is there anything else we need to send with the message? Or just no subject, no body?
Just let me know that you heard it here on the podcast.
Yeah.
And that you want to drive with Uber. I mean, even if it's simple as, I want to drive with Uber, you send that to me, and I will send the first 5 people an invitation to join Uber. But for everyone else, make sure you download the app.
Does Uber see any of this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I just want to make sure that we get drivers out there. And even if you don't want to drive, download the app, use the app. It's super convenient, and it's Uber. It's your private driver. That's the way that it works.
We took it to the game today.
Yeah,
to and from the game, because we stayed at my sister's place.
Right.
And, it was further than walking distance, so we wanted to take a ride and not have to worry about parking downtown, and it worked out really well.
Perfect. Yeah, and like I said, now I drive Uber X. I got to say, there's something a little special about pulling up in an Uber black car. That's something else. But you're gonna have to wait a little while on Eastern Shore for that. For right now, it's the convenience factor of it's all handled on the app. There's no cash exchange. There's no nothing. You select where you're starting and where you want to end. You hit call car. And within a few minutes, somebody will drive up and pick you up. It's a fantastic thing. And obviously, it's responsible, too. Don't drink and drive. When you're going out on the weekend, call Uber, get a ride, don't drive.
Well, don't call them. Just use the app.
Use the app. You don't actually call. But again, first 5 people, you'll get an invitation to make some serious money in very short time. So I can't encourage you enough.
The other thing, Castrol, baby.
So before we get out of here, of course, we want to do our brand new, not so new, few weeks old segment, Baltimore Corner.
Where you get the straight dope.
Where you get the straight dope. So some tragic news. Well, speaking of gambling, I guess, not so tragic, but I'm hoping that the casino doesn't close, because God knows if it's 4 a.m. and I need a drink, that's the one place in Baltimore I can go.
Well, I mean, also, it's if you want to do some hot car baby watching activities,
also a good place.
There's no place to do it like the parking lot at one of the fine casinos in Maryland.
Well, because
I feel like every single week I see a story about like mother leaves infant in car for 19 hours while gambles.
Yeah. But no, so Horseshoe in Baltimore, which is part of the Caesars family, actually had its worst month since its first month of being open. And juxtapose that to Maryland Live just down the road. Maryland Live had one of their best months ever. And I got to say that now we go to the casino at 3 o'clock in the morning to just keep drinking.
Yeah.
Or to get Royal Farms chicken and to play some slots. Actually, that's probably all of the things that we do while we're there at the casino. But I also love that as you pass the casino, you see all the billboards for Maryland Live.
Yeah.
Just a short drive away and blah, blah, blah. By the way, don't drive. Take an Uber. But if you are...
Uber with Rob at gmail.com.
But I think that it's the shine's wearing off. Every time we've been there, there's been something that happened. Fights or...
stabbings
really over intoxicated people.
This is at the Horseshoe.
At the Horseshoe, yeah, in Baltimore.
Here's the problem, just with I've touched on this before, but gambling in Maryland.
Yeah.
Like there's no easy in for it. I think that's the problem. Like I can't go to Horseshoe with $100 and make it last a night.
Well, no. The minimums are so high there.
Yeah, and like a table, if you want to play blackjack, it's like $25 a hand.
Yeah.
And listen, at some point, I will go 25 a hand.
Not now.
No, but I want to sit down at a table. I want to sort of do like fives and like get myself into the speed of it. And then if I start going on a winning streak, I usually put my winnings right back in.
Right.
To my next hand.
Even in, when we went to Vegas, our my family's table game is craps. And most of the time, when my dad and I went to Vegas, even when we went to Dover, it was like $15, $20 minimum bet on some of the tables.
Well, and everywhere we went in Vegas, they would have $25 minimum tables,
right?
But they'd also have $5 minimum tables,
yeah, right. But I mean,
and at that table we sat at, Zach had a winning streak and won his money back. But I dumped, over the course of 5 hours, all 100 into the table. That was the cost of the entertainment of sitting there and playing. But if it was a $25 table, I would not have sat down. That's 4 hands.
Yeah.
You get 4 losing hands and you're done.
Right.
And I don't understand people. I mean, people do it.
Personally, I don't get the slots.
Okay, well, I do. I like slots.
Well, no, I mean, like, if it was the old slots where I was just like 3 cherries equals $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
I could get that because I could see like cherry. I'm just like, oh, give me another cherry, yeah.
Yeah.
But when it's like, you're sitting down at Poseidon's Adventure,
right?
And there's 5 rows and 17 columns, and it's just like, if you get 19 Zeuses, then you win 4 times multipliers of what you bet.
Yeah.
If you bet 5 lines, then you get this multiplier of 19.7% minus the 37%.
You lose.
Yeah, and it's just like basically like, so I'm just like sitting there like hitting the button over and over and over again, just like going like, did I win?
No.
No. Did I win?
No.
No.
It's a fire whistle.
Okay.
Fire whistle in town here.
we will take a moment.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
There's a quick...
Oh, yeah.
If you were wondering what that silence was, it was us hearing a siren.
I was worried for a second that it was police, so that could have been a
it was
thing.
just... I just heard the ambient background noise, and I was like, I'm not making any sounds.
But
Is somebody's phone going off?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. But,
Or did the Capitol score a goal?
But no, so the casino is doing poorly. And, of course, they're coming in positive and saying that, we all have down months. And our best month ever was August, but that was preceded by 2 very bad months, 1 good month. And then I think August may have been because it was hot as balls and free AC at the casino.
Free drink.
Well, no, they actually don't serve free drinks at the casino.
No, the drinks are very expensive.
It's ridiculous.
That's the other thing. Like, nothing about it makes me want to gamble.
No.
Like, if I could sit at a table and they'd be giving me free drinks,
right,
I'd be more inclined to do it. And if I was sitting at a table where it was like $5 or $10 per minimum hand, then I'd be more inclined to. And people tell me like, well, you can just go there at Tuesday at 2:00 in the morning and they have $5 tables. I'm like,
no, I got things to do.
Yeah, I don't even, and not only that, but like I go to the casino like randomly.
Yeah,
like it's not like
again we go at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just like every single week I gotta go to the casino. Saturday's my casino day.
Right.
Like there's people I know who do that. Like can't wait for the weekend to go to the casino. Just like no, I want to randomly just be able to pick up. And, like, if there's 10 people in a group with me, and they all want to go to the casino, I don't want to pay $8 for a beer.
Yeah.
And B, I don't want to, like, either play a slot machine that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Or play, 4 hands on a blackjack table at $25 a minimum.
Craps.
You would think that being part of the Caesars Company, they would know better. But what I'll tell you is that Maryland law, it gets in the way a lot. You can't give away liquor or beer. You just can't give it away. So there's no way for them to do what they do in Vegas. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
But if we change the law, which we could do, we could make smart changes to make it more fun.
Well, I mean, if I walked in there and got drunk enough, then I'd start gambling.
That's absolutely right. And I mean, the only time I've gambled was when I was drunk and then showed up there.
So, like, I went
after we took an Uber
for the Ravens game today. I tailgated beforehand.
Right.
Which I've never done. Like a full day of tailgating.
Yeah.
And I drank a lot before going into the stadium. But as soon as I got in there, it was 1 beer.
Yeah.
I wanted 1 beer to kind of maintain the buzz that I had for as long as it would last.
Right.
But I was like, to continue, to get drunk at this point.
Oh. And the people who get drunk at games, who start sober and then drink at games, I can't get behind that.
But, like, it would take me, like...
How much are beers at M&T?
Like $8.50.
Yeah, $8.50. Yeah, they're like $9.50 at FedEx.
Yeah,
so
I mean it's
incredibly expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, for somebody like me, like I have to drink like 10 beers to get drunk.
Right.
And I have to like pound 10 beers. So I got to spend $85 to get drunk at M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
And what's the point?
Yeah.
And if I drank the 10 beers before I went in, I would still have to drink like 7 to like continue that woozy feeling all throughout the game.
Well, and the thing again, it's bad long-term thinking because if they made the beers $4, the likelihood is you wouldn't have had just one. You probably would have ended up spending more than you actually spent.
Yeah, there was the debacle of the 76 Bengal. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they made it $4.50.
Right.
I mean, the Angels had something like this, like where they decided to lower their beer price to like $5 a beer or something like that.
They sold more
and
beer.
They sold way more because people were just like, oh, $5, I can do 2 beer.
Yeah, I'll do 3.
Yeah. Instead of 2, and the difference in the price was enough to make up the...
Right.
Just like they have the souvenir cups now.
Right.
That have 1 free refill. And it's...
Do they?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but it's $2
free?
more for the cup, the
Right.
souvenir soda, rather than the regular one.
Yeah.
And you get the free refill, and you say, you're just like, oh, man, if I... Like, at this point, I'm not even, like, finishing the whole Coke.
Right.
Like, by the end of the... Like, I might refill it, but I'm just, like, sort of doing it because I have a free refill.
I'm going to use that fucking refill.
Yeah, I'm not drinking, like, 5 liters of Coke while I'm, like, sitting there. So...
I totally could.
But the idea... Like, you're just like, listen, at that $2 extra, it's like I got 2 $4 Cokes rather than...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Bargaining.
Yeah, you're
bargaining
like,
with
those
yourself.
2 Cokes were $4. But
Yeah.
what you don't remember is that cost them 15 cents.
And the cup cost a quarter.
Yeah.
So.
And they're making out like fucking thieves in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my my Redskins cup up there with the 2012 versus Dallas game.
Yeah.
At the very end of the season, that had bottomless refills, and it's been I haven't gone to a game this year, but I went to a few games last year, and it's just outrageous. But I was going to say, I think it was a Bengals game in the 80s or something like that, where they put the beer prices to like 76 cents.
Yeah.
And they had to call off the game because fans got overly drunk.
And I'm not
that's to
maintaining
the
that they
extreme.
sell beers for $1.
Yeah, and that's I mean, again, you get a certain crowd when you have dollar beers. But if they took $3 off the price, people would buy twice as much.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where it makes sense. But
Right.
I do want to cover one more thing before we go today.
Yeah.
Because today is a sad week for the city of Baltimore. Unfortunately, without much ado, Club Hippo, a Baltimore landmark since 1978, closed.
Yep.
And I know that you enjoyed going to the Hippo for karaoke there.
Yeah, I've gone a couple times.
Yeah.
Erin Maltese likes to go there for her birthday.
Yeah.
So we've been a couple times for that.
And you enjoyed? It's a good time?
Yeah, I mean, it's... Like, I went to the I think there's a preconceived notion about, like, a gay bar by a lot of people. But it's not like that. It's a very welcoming place to be, even if you're a straight guy.
I've been to many gay bars.
There's not nobody's coming up to you going like, "Hey, hot stuff," or anything like that. Any of those.
There's no video, but they're not grabbing you while they're talking to you. Corey just did a motion.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I've heard before from people that's like, "I'm not going to the gay bar. I ain't no gay."
Yeah,
I
ain't no.
I'm
gay.
just like they don't want you. Like, they don't like this isn't.
The women don't want you. These men don't want you.
This
either.
isn't heathen's delight.
No
like, I ain't no gay. Like,
double negative.
Yeah.
But
I guess that would actually make you a gay.
Dun dun dun.
I didn't really think about that.
Dun 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 dun.
But I mean, it's just a good time.
It is.
When I went to the Purple Evening, the women's night with Rachel, like, nobody looked at me like, what the fuck is that guy doing here? It's like,
I mean, that
it's like clearly sense. You went with somebody who...
Wait, that's a hetero couple over there. Get him!
No, I was just going to say that based on my experience with your basketball skills, you're a bit of a bitch. So, I don't know that it was so out of place.
The showdown of the century begins.
But no, I've been to gay bars.
T-minus 5 days until Rob eats words.
I've been to gay bars before, and I got to say that it's... The feeling is kind of what I imagine women feel at regular bars, at like a generic bar, where like, you get the person who comes and talks and be like, listen, you seem like a nice guy, but just not my cup of tea.
I'm just here to dance with my friends.
I'm not here to sit and watch my friends dance. I don't even dance. I'm here to sit and watch them dance, and they're having a good time. That's it. You do that 2 or 3 times, and then people are like, "Oh no, that's a straight boy."
Yeah.
And then they leave you totally alone. So, just like if you're a hot girl at a bar and a bunch of guys come and hit up on you, eventually, like, they're going to be like, "Oh, no, she's a bitch." But it really just, that's recipe for she's not talking to anybody.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah.
I like the hippo. And it was a very famous...
Landmark. It was a landmark.
It was a landmark. It was. Yeah. And you can't tell the history of being gay in Baltimore without bringing it up.
Right.
It's a chapter in that book. And the fact that it's being replaced by a CVS, which is just like one of the most like whitewashed, like generic
but they're leaving
major companies and
they're leaving the outside. So it'll be a CVS that's in the Club Hippo space, basically. But
that seems odd.
Well, it's because it's a historic landmark. So the building itself is protected.
What they do is they just put their branding on.
Yeah.
Like, so there's the 7-Eleven that opened up right across the street on Saratoga from where...
Right, on the corner.
Yeah. That building had a historic look.
Right.
But they basically just put 7-Eleven in the windows to, like, make it...
Yeah, and CVS
make you know it's a 7-Eleven.
And the marquee that held great acts since 1978 will then have like some sort of facial moisturizer products in it.
Right,
sure.
yeah.
So, unfortunately, the age of Club Hippo is over. Another Baltimore landmark gone by the wayside. And I feel like it loses character. The city loses character when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, I just really wish that these things wouldn't, like, fade the way they do. I mean, like, just in Baltimore in general, there's a feeling of... We have things like the Mayfair.
Right.
Which are vacant and rotting.
Yeah.
But they have such a long and storied history, but nothing's happening there right now, so what's the point of it being there being depressing?
Right, but then they'll never knock it down because of the history.
Right.
But nobody's doing anything, so...
And nobody wants to do anything because it sits there vacant.
Right, yeah.
So, like, you want to, like, respect these monuments, but you don't want to, like, you know, destroy it.
Well, listen, Baltimore, we want it.
Yeah.
Give it to us for free. Give us no taxes for 10 years. And, you know, like a $3-4 million grant that we can fix it up. We'll do all the work. By that, I mean we'll call the people. And we'll have it restored. It'll be great.
Listen, we just need a roof.
Right.
And a little bit of patchwork.
Probably a little more than a little bit, but yeah.
Just enough to legally have people inside of it.
Right, yes.
You will see live podcasts every night.
God.
The Mayfair Podcast Studio.
Oh, God, that would be awesome. Can you...
Well, you know what? Like, they used to, like, back in the radio show days, you used to be able to go to theaters and watch a radio show being recorded. It was like a play.
Right.
So maybe we bring that back.
As much of a bitch as I complain a lot about how much podcasting I do during the week.
Yeah.
I would love to do nothing but this every night of the week. So if you love what we do, make sure there's several things you can do. Tell your friends. Have them listen. Have somebody give us a very big check so we can redo the Mayfair and live there, and also podcast every night of the week.
Listen, we'd start a $30 million Kickstarter, but I think we'd fall a little short.
A little short, probably. But you can help us.
And if you fall short, then you don't get to keep any of the money. So
I got 65 cents.
We don't want to raise $25 million and then get shut out of this thing.
Right.
Like, we can't even fix the mezzanine for that.
In the meantime, you can tell your friends to like and subscribe. You can go to iTunes, give us a good rating and a review. And you could support the stuff that we do. Just a nice word, a retweet, a share on Facebook, a like even, is always helpful. So that's what you can do to help us out.
And it makes us so happy.
Absolutely makes us happy.
Anytime I see something nice that somebody's like messaged, or you know, like if you share something with me, I'm just like, oh, that made my day. Like little bits.
Yeah, and we got to see a very cute video of Katie, Carla, and Olivia reacting to our shout out, and it warms the cold cockles of my heart that somebody would enjoy the stuff that we produce that much. So, hope springs eternal that one day we will be able to podcast every night of the week.
And just somebody else reach out to me, because I'm tired of Colin just like texting me all morning going like, hey, it was really funny when you said that thing on the podcast.
All right, look at this new phone and 2 messages. Oh, look, there's hardly anybody. Hey, look, I have more messages from Uber than Corey Baker. Also from Verizon saying...
Well, as I said, I don't know if you know how this works. This is a one-way street. We're the stars. We don't text back. We just enjoy the parade.
I actually have 3 different numbers from Uber
For
that
what?
have texted me. Because I sent in some stuff.
Oh,
and they were like, "Well, you know, that wasn't a very good driver's license picture, so you know, you should send that back to us." So I was like, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to fucking sleep.
All right. Well, anyway,
if you want more of the Anthem, otheanthem.com, Corey at otheanthem.com, the Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
what's that number again?
443-219-7595.
And you can find me on all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com, where you can find links to a dead drop, which is still a work in progress, foundingthefuture.us, and of course you can find links there to both of my books and information about the upcoming books. So,
Buy Rob's books.
what was the hell was
I
that?
don't know.
Let me give it to the people the way they like.
Go ahead.
Buy Rob's book.
Thank you. And of course, again, the first 5 people who send me an email to uberwithrob@gmail.com, I have a special invitation for you to join me in the Uber family. So, so make sure that you, as always, you like and subscribe, you rate and review. Those are the things we like. Send us messages. Always fantastic. So.
All right. Well, I think we did good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But in any event, as always, you are listening to the the Anthem podcast, part of the the Anthem digital network. For Corey and Colin, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
God, I hope you're not listening to this at 4 o'clock in the morning like we recorded it.
4
4 a.m. miracle.